It is already destroying lives. Already. And it's mainly being used not to decide who needs help out of a group of people, but it's mainly being used to decide who doesn't need help. The harms already being caused by AI are their own type of catastrophe. And their own type of existential threat for the people that are harmed by them. So I've talked about this before, that people don't realize that algorithms and AI are already impacting loads of people's lives, and many of them in terrible ways. Algorithms and AI are being used for everything from deciding who to hire at a job, for deciding how long someone should remain in prison, whether they should be given parole. All of these things are being decided in some cities, not in others, but in some areas, by algorithms that people don't even look into. Like there are algorithms being used to decide if someone gets a job at a supermarket or whether they're a risky hire. And not only does the applicant not get to know why they didn't get that phone call for the job interview, for the second job interview or whatever, but even the person making the phone calls, even the employer generally does not know what's in that algorithm. They've bought the algorithm from a software company. They then plug in the resume and the information, and then it says, "Oh, risky hire," and then the employer goes, look at that, risky hire. We're not doing that. No way. Am I hiring a risky hire? You don't know what's going to happen with a risky hire. Don't even know what's in the algorithm. So there you have an example of an algorithm, AI, controlling someone's life, making someone's life worse. They didn't get a job. Who knows what happens after that? Maybe they go on a bender. Maybe they then lose their partner, and maybe it all goes downhill after that. But their life is harmed by an algorithm, an AI situation that they don't even know what's in it, and the employer doesn't even care what's in it. The worst case scenario is that we fail to disrupt the status quo, meaning the direction we're headed in which very powerful companies develop and deploy AI in invisible and obscure ways. Now, we ended up in kind of an impressive situation here where OpenAI was one of the first to put forward this powerful AI. So that means everyone can use OpenAI. I mean, it is open to everyone for free. Maybe not the highest level, but most of it is open for free. And that was kind of unusual. In general, the advancements in AI will be owned by a large corporation, sometimes maybe a country, but a large corporation that is going to keep the advancement to themselves as much as they can. Much like the U.S. tried to keep the nuclear weapon to itself and continues to try and keep nuclear bombs from other countries. So you will have this incredibly powerful weapon of a kind of AI that can do all kinds of shit, and it will be kept to the corporation that develops it in order to allow them to exploit and extract and destroy and reap profit over all else. Powerful algorithmic technology being used to mediate our relationships between one another and between ourselves and institutions already exists. Take the provision of welfare benefits as an example. Some governments are deploying algorithms in order to root out fraud. In many cases, this amounts to a suspicion machine, where the algorithm may suspect someone is bad or fraudulent or shouldn't be hired or should remain in jail. And so it just says, risky. So these decisions are being made not by humans. Now, this doesn't mean there's not arguments to be made that humans are incredibly biased as well, which we are. But still, we act like we are many people are under the assumption that these AI decisions are infallible, could never be faulted. And in fact, it's quite the opposite. AI is already falsely accusing people of crimes, determining whether people find public housing, automating resume screening and job interviews. Every day, these harms present existential risks to the actual person who is harmed by them. So while we sit here and have this debate as to whether AI could harm someone in the future, it is already destroying lives. Already. And it's mainly being used not to decide who needs help out of a group of people, but it's mainly being used to decide who doesn't need help, who shouldn't be employed, who shouldn't be brought into a corporation. So in that way, corporations already are using this far more than it's being used for justice and for equality. Whereas even the AI we currently have could be used to enhance equality, could be used to enhance justice, but it's largely not. It's largely being used for corporations to decide who can benefit and for corporations to be able to fire more people. That's obviously one of the biggest things. And I've talked about that before, the amount of joblessness we're going to have soon. Now, of course, in a wonderful, actually well thought out by adults society, we would not have wage slavery at all, but that's another topic.